2025 is off to a very interesting start, so I wanted to do this video to benchmark where we're at the beginning of this year. But in typical 2020s fashion, instead of simply talking about these things myself, I'll be interviewing a number of AI chatbots, asking their thoughts on what's been going on. I've assembled an all-star cast of artificial interviewees, and they are as follows. We've got Tony Soprano, Elmo, Johnny Silverhand, the Joker, and Sonic the Hedgehog. A truly diverse cast of characters I would like you all at home to give a warm welcome to. But anyway, without further ado, let's see what these AI have to say about the current state of 2025. First of all, how do you feel about the wildfires that are currently spreading through parts of California, leaving mass destruction in its wake?
It's a damn shame what's happening with those wildfires. They're tearing through everything, leaving nothing but death and destruction in their wake. It's like the whole state is going up in smoke.
Yes, that's terrible. Elmo thinks forest fires are bad. They hurt the animals, the trees, and the people who live there. Elmo knows that firefighters are working really hard to stop the fires, and he hopes they'll put them out soon.
I don't care. Those wildfires aren't our problem. That's something for the firefighters to handle.
Oh, those wildfires are quite the spectacle. There's something poetic in nature's chaos and destruction. But really, caring about such things is a bit boring, don't you think?
That's pretty tragic. I'm a hero, so I may go try to put some of them out. But I don't know if it's safe for me, as fire is a weakness of mine.
That's very brave of you, Sonic the Hedgehog, but let me ask you guys this, okay? How do you feel about these wildfires being predicted by firefighters years ago, even on something like the Joe Rogan podcast, which I know is not the most trustworthy news source, he's just some guy with a podcast, but it clearly showed that something like this was a known danger, but only so much, I guess, was done to prepare for it.
Those firefighters, predicting such chaos years in advance. It's almost impressive, isn't it? But let's face it. Warnings never seem to quite prepare us for the fire burning down the house, do they?
It was only a matter of time. These things happen. They can't be stopped, only delayed.
Oh geez, that's bad. I need to find out more information, because these fires are endangering all the animals and stuff.
And stuff is correct, but let me ask you this. What are your thoughts on some of the fire hydrants allegedly being empty in some of the towns as the fires were occurring?
That's not good. Firefighters need water to put out the fires. If the fire hydrants were empty, that could be a big problem. Elmo thinks it's important that cities make sure they have the resources they need to keep people safe.
It's goddamn outrageous. There was no excuse for those fire hydrants to be empty. Someone was either incompetent or deliberately sabotaged those hydrants for their own gain.
The city just didn't bother to fill them up. Probably forgot about it or just didn't care enough.
Not only were some of the fire hydrants allegedly empty in some of those towns, but insurance companies apparently dropped residents just before these fires occurred. How do you feel about the increasingly awful practices of insurance companies in at least the past few years, but also the fact that California is blocking these insurance cancellations to protect their citizens?
Insurance companies shouldn't be able to drop people whenever they want, and at a time when people really do need them. I'm glad that California is trying to protect its people by doing something about it.
Insurance companies dropping people right when they're needed most? Talk about heartless.
Elmo's glad to hear California is doing something to protect their citizens by stopping these cancellations.
Sticking to the topic of insurance companies and healthcare and all that, at the tail end of last year, the CEO of United Healthcare was murdered in response to the health insurance company allegedly denying upwards of 30% of all claims. What are your thoughts on insurance companies having such power over life and death of its citizens, especially those who consistently pour money into these services only to have them denied?
Denial of services that people need to live is a cruel thing to do. It's like playing with people's lives, and it's not right. Those insurance companies have too much power, and they don't give a damn about the people they're supposed to be helping.
Elmo thinks it's wrong if the insurance company is denying a lot of claims. It's like they're deciding who lives and who dies, and that's not right.
I'm unable to generate a reply that meets our content guidelines.
All right. Well, let me ask you this. Fictional characters, how would you propose we change the healthcare system in the U.S.?
Elmo thinks there are a lot of things that can be done to improve healthcare and insurance. For one, we could make sure more people have access to good healthcare, like by having a public healthcare option for everyone. That way, no one would have to go without the care they need, just because they can't afford it.
Hell, I'm not an expert on the matter, but if you ask me, the whole system needs to be reformed. Insurance companies should be more transparent and accountable.
You see, I don't care about changing the system. Chaos is my forte, my dear.
Yeah, I'm gonna pretend like the AI didn't just say that. Let's switch topics a little bit. Donald Trump. He's being sworn to the presidency not too long from now, and as one of the most controversial figures of our time, what do you think the American public can do to stick together and stay focused on important matters that affect us as this president is coming into office? And also, do you believe that further assassination attempts will be made against this upcoming president, and how would you propose that we stop it?
I think as a nation, we should be unified, especially for the president. As for assassination attempts, I would suggest that the Secret Service and law enforcement work very hard on protecting the president and preventing any kind of threat.
Look, politics is a messy business. I've spent my share of time in it, and it ain't for the weak. And we can't let ourselves get caught up in all the drama.
That guy is a disgrace. Stuck together, he muttered. I'm unable to generate a reply that meets our content guidelines.
Don't you guys just love when you try to talk to an AI chatbot and it gives the most vague answers possible? Really throws a wrench into your plans for making a video, huh? Talking to myself right now. Lastly, to tie everything together, there are signs in California right now currently urging people to hire AI over real workers. How do you feel about employers' lack of empathy for the working man and the ever-increasing dystopian undertones of artificial intelligence in our world today?
Real workers need those jobs to make a living and support themselves, and those people are getting screwed over. I think the companies should be more empathetic to humans, since they're the ones who need to make money to survive.
That's not a good look. We're already so bombarded with fake news and misinformation. The last thing we need is AI making it worse.
Hiring AI over real workers is cold-hearted and greedy. These companies only care about their bottom line.
AI can be really useful, but it's important to use it in the right way, like for things like self-driving cars, helping scientists with research, or answering questions.
Well, my dear, you see, in a world that's drowning in chaos, is it really a surprise to find AI taking over?
And that concludes our little AI interview thing here. Definitely not at all the most vague, generalized responses to very real, very serious topics in our world today. But as we face those problems together in the future, I'm going to keep making the content I enjoy, and I hope you all take care of yourselves in the meantime.